Welcome back, everybody, to the Just Talking Ball podcast. Today, me, Ben, and Joel are going to be going over our preseason stat predictions and kind of like there's some awards in here too. We got some hot takes at the very bottom. We're going to be going over that, talking about uh, why we picked them if you didn't watch that previous pod 5 months ago. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, we'll obviously talk about who actually ended up leading in the stats. So, I mean, yeah, let's kind of just get right into it here. But before we do, please like, subscribe, share. All the support recently has been great, so thank you guys so much for that. Let's keep that up. And yeah, let's just kind of jump right into it. So, for the first one, we had receiving leader, just receiving yard leader. So, yeah, Ben, you can get started with why you picked Sutton.
Yeah, I picked Sutton just because the familiarity with the offense and Franklin, Bryant, Mims, they didn't really have as much of a promised role as Sutton did. And you'll see here I kind of had high hopes for Evan Ingram, but I kind of figured the majority of the targets on offense would be to Sutton, so that's kind of why I picked him.
Oh yeah, solid pick. Thanks for having us on again, JTB. Always a pleasure. So I picked Marvin Mims. To be honest with you, kind of to just come out of left field. I feel like Sutton was the real obvious choice here. So I kind of just wanted to, be a little different with that. But honestly, just seeing like the game he had against the Bengals, and we can even look this season, the game he had against Buffalo, that this guy deserves a much bigger role in the offense. And I thought that was really going to manifest this year, but looks like we saved him as a secret weapon. But yeah, that was the reason behind mine. But Sutton was the obvious pick.
Yeah, like you said, Son, definitely obvious pick. There really isn't much to talk about there. I did like the Mims pick. That definitely had potential, but Sean obviously didn't play him very much. So obviously it was Sutton, who was the receiving yard leader with 1,017 yards and 7 touchdowns. We'll talk about that later. So I mean, yeah, not really anything surprising there. He got 124 targets, 74 receptions. Um, Not much yak, which is not that surprising from a guy like Sutton. This one we don't really have to talk about much, but any thoughts on Sutton this year, guys?
Yeah, I mean, early in the season I was kind of the same as always, thinking that he'd always be our one. I liked the contract extension, but now it's kind of got not a weird feeling, but a feeling that we need to get a different one and have him as a two. Um, and I think that really showed during the playoffs with the drops and then just him not showing up entirely. So I mean, he'd still be a really nice two. I just think we need to land a one somehow.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
Yeah, definitely not a hot take there. We definitely need a one, and we'll definitely talk about that in pods to come. But next up we got rushing yard leader, and this one is kind of a interesting one because it would have been JK had he stayed healthy, but it was RJ. Or actually, no, it was JK. What am I talking about? My bad. Um, yeah, disappointing year from RJ for sure. Me and Ben, I don't want to speak for him, but I don't know if we were for sure expecting JK to be out for like the whole year after 10 games, but I thought RJ would be a lot better. I thought he would get a lot more carries than he ended up getting, even with JK healthy. So, um, yeah, RJ definitely struggled his rookie year for sure. So I mean, yeah, not much to talk about there besides RJ just kind of really struggled.
Right. Um, I did get this one right, picking J.K. Dobbins. We talked a little bit off camera about how I had the privilege of actually being at a game in preseason before we did this episode. So that kind of helped a little bit. Just in that specifically, the 49ers preseason game, kind of saw the way they were using him in a game that Dobbins didn't even really play in, if at all. Kind of how he was picking the wrong lanes, always wanting to bounce outside. Exciting young player, but It was from that moment where I saw this kid was going to need a lot of development, and he'll get there. I hope someday. But yeah, felt like JK was kind of my default on that one. Say you, Ben.
Yeah, I think we all had a little bit of a prediction that JK would get hurt just because that's kind of how his career's unfolded so far. But I thought RJ would have more of like a consistent production compared to what we saw 2 years ago with Javante. But I'm going through right now, and 10 of RJ's games, he was under 3 yards per carry, and there were games where he had 8 yards, 2 yards, 4, 0, 5, 9. So, I mean, I thought I had a little bit more expectations out of him, especially after JK went down. But I guess we'll see next year. I mean, JK ended up leading us in yards, and I guess we'll see what Sean and George Payton decide with if we bring him back or not. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a different pod or whatever. But yeah, I had RJ, and it didn't really unfold that way.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we'll talk about JK um, and bringing him back or not in future pods. But overall, apart from JK, obviously, kind of being an injury-prone player, what were your guys' overall thoughts on him?
Thought he was kind of what we needed, especially after the Javante situation. I thought, a veteran who can come in and win you a few games and put up good numbers. And I think we all knew he wouldn't play for 17 straight games, but I mean, the pass blocking was well, he ran pretty well, so it's kind of exactly what I thought he would have been.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. I love J.K. Dobbins this year. The way that he kind of embraced being a Bronco as well was just kind of a nice surprise on top. Always love a guy who comes in and isn't really like a mercenary, but really does embrace Broncos country and everything that we've got going on. So he was great. If it's just the 1 year, which we'll talk about later on, then it was a good 1 year. Sucks that he had to get hurt though.
Yeah, you guys nailed it on the head. Sucks they had to get hurt, but really good player. Uh, really fun guy to just hear in interviews and everything too. So, uh, yeah, it should be interesting to see if we bring him back or not. So, next up, next up, we got receiving touchdown leader for Ben.
This is the one that I kind of like look back and laugh at because I mean I'm sure if any of y'all saw that pod, I was like super hopeful for Evan Ingram and the role in this offense. Especially, I talked about it. I vividly remember talking about how in the red zone, I guarantee he will be like the most targeted Bronco, and that didn't really become the case. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he had the same amount of touchdowns as Michael Bandy. So swing and a miss here from me, and I will not be putting him back on this stat for next season.
Shout out to Michael Bandy for that one. But yeah, Evan Ingram really did underwhelm pretty badly this year. I was in the same boat as Ben. We kind of had the same line of thinking in that pod. Like red zone was the biggest reason why. 'Cause I feel like we did have the need for that. All that talk during the preseason and off season of us needing Joker and all of that, I think kind of got to our heads a little bit there. Hopefully, we'll have a better year from him next year. But yeah, he's never definitely not going to be on this sheet this August for me either.
Yeah, and then for this one, we pretty much all equally picked a pretty bad one here. But Marvin Mims, I was expecting him to have much more of the role that Troy ended up having, like the first half of the year. Um, I was expecting him to get a lot more deep balls, just a lot more usage than he did on offense. But he really just didn't get used nearly as much as I think he should have. But uh, kind of honestly seemed like Sean was saving him for the playoffs because we definitely used him plenty in the playoffs. So, uh, yeah, Marvin, definitely not the best pick ever looking back at here, but um, that definitely could have been helped with some more reps and more targets and just more plays for him. So, um, yeah, but this one also ended up being Sutton. I think we all kind of just wanted to be different with this one because the logical pick was definitely Sutton. I mean, yeah, we already talked about Sutton and how we thought he did this year, so I'll just move right on to offensive rookie of the year. And I would say this one is um this one's kind of a hard one to say, like if we got right or not, because it's something that can still be debated about who the offensive rookie of the year was. But I would say RJ probably got that, just playing more than Pat Bryant really, and staying healthier than Pat. Um, and I mean, you can't look past the fact that RJ had how many touchdowns was it? 12 total touchdowns. So I mean, yeah, very solid year from RJ. Definitely underwhelming from everybody kind of in our rookie class there. We'll talk about the other rookies later on, but I mean, overall, I would say probably goes to RJ Harvey there.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. I mean, just because of the sheer amount of times this guy found the end zone, I think we can give it to him there. And it was either RJ or Pat on this category, I think, really, unless someone came out of the blue. Pat Bryan, I really thought was going to fill that Devon Vele role a lot more. I think we started to see that in the later weeks of the season. But like he said, just got hit with the injury bug at the worst possible time.
Yeah, JTB and I pretty much I agree with everything he said. I thought RJ had a much more promised role as that kind of 1B running back. And Pat Bryant, he had a solid season. Like Joel said, concussions were unfortunate and all. But RJ, the promised role, leading the team in touchdowns, I think I would give that one to him here. And that's kind of the reasoning why I took him back in August, because he would immediately have or see more action than Pat Bryant.
Yeah, so I mean, there really isn't much to talk about with RJ. We already kind of talked about him with rushing, so if you want to get started here, Ben, with kind of the most obvious one, offensive player of the year.
Oh yeah, I mean, I put Bo Nix for this, as both of you guys did as well, and I think that was pretty clear. We didn't have like a dominant receiver. The running back room was still kind of iffy because of Dobbins' injury issues. So I put Bo Nix. It turned out to be Bo Nix, and I mean we 100% saw that during the Patriots game. I mean the way this offense looked without Bo Nix just goes to show why he is the most valuable player on that offense. So yeah.
Yeah, God bless him. Real obvious pick. I know we were kind of hard on him early in the season. He kind of gave us a reason to be a little bit, but he really turned it around. And it was nice to see the culmination of all that in the Bills game for him to really show that he is who we thought he was. And he's going to be even better next year and years to come.
Yeah, you guys nailed it. We've talked about him obviously plenty this year. Talked about him way more than anybody else. I mean, he's the franchise quarterback of the Broncos, so why won't we talk about him a ton? But yeah, me and Joel really touched on it last pod, ranking the quarterbacks. Go check that one out. That one's a good one. But I mean, yeah, Bo really did a great job kind of carrying this offense through yet another year because he kind of did his rookie year too. Um, so like I said, me and Joel, we talked about that last pod. Ben, I don't know if you have any thoughts on Bo that's very different or anything you want to talk about with Bo.
No, I think I, see him the same way you guys do as well. So there's not really much I could have added there.
Yeah, so next up we got another one where we all kind of struck out here. Total yards leader. Um, for this one, same reasoning. I had Marvin for being the receiving touchdown leader. Um, just kind of thought he'd be way more involved in the offense. I thought he would get more carries. And by carries, I don't mean traditional Bo starts out under center carries like that, but I just mean like jet sweeps, direct snaps, maybe pitches, just stuff like that. But yeah, Mims just didn't get utilized much, so not really much to talk about there. So I mean, yeah, did you have any different reason in there, Joel?
Yeah, no, again, same reasoning as earlier. He had a great 2024 campaign as far as he had some big games, big plays, especially against Cincinnati. So it really sucks that he was kind of the ace up Sean Payton's sleeve. He's starting to let him unfold in the playoffs, and then what happened happened. So yeah, no, same thing. I think Mims will definitely have a bigger role next year, but he struck out on that one.
And then for this one, I put RJ Harvey because I liked him, receiving out of the backfield, and I thought he'd probably push closer to like 800 receiving yards. But yeah, I think just settling at 540 rushing yards, kind of hindered that. So swing and a miss from all of us here. I thought he would, kind of combine rushing and receiving for around 12, 1300, but didn't work out that way. So maybe next season.
Yeah, so I mean, we already talked about Sutton there, who ended up being the total yard leader, so not really much to talk about there. So, Ben, if you want to get started on the sack leader.
Yeah, I thought this one was pretty kind of like the offensive player of the year. I thought this was pretty obvious. We all put Nick Bonito. We saw it last season, and then this season again, just comes out and leads the team in sacks. So I kind of figured it would happen. I think that's kind of why we all put him. But yeah, what about you, Joel?
Yeah, I mean, same. We all saw his explosiveness. It really came to the mainstream a little bit more. How fast this guy gets off the edge. And he racked up a ton of sacks. I know he got a lot of crap for not showing up, but he was able to get the big strip sack on Trey Lance and on Josh Allen. So yeah, really successful season for Nick Benito. Hopefully, two members of the pod can get his jersey for Christmas next year.
Yeah, I mean, um, as much as we did hate on Nick, he definitely had a very solid year. We can critique him as much as we want, but yeah, he definitely had a very solid year. And it was just obvious coming in that he would be our sack leader again. I mean, he's a very good pass rusher, so um, yeah, nothing really surprising there. I think we pretty much just all talked about him there, so we can kind of just move on kind of quickly here to the interception leader. For this one, I have Brandon Jones. Um, I was expecting, I think we all were expecting more turnovers from this defense as a whole, but that didn't happen. That's something me and Ben really talked about, especially Ben during the season about the lack of turnovers this team had. Um, and yeah, Brandon Jones ended up. Let me see here. I don't think he even ended up with a INT grade. Oh, actually, no. He had one. He had one, which I mean was only one away from the leader because um, we'll talk about that later. But uh, yeah, just was expecting more turnovers all around there from the team, and was thinking Brandon Jones would kind of be a little bit more of a ball hawk than he was. But I mean, still really solid year from Brandon. So yeah, Joel, what had you picking J Mac?
Same thing that we talked about with Nick Benito and RJ Harvey, or the JK Dobbins over RJ Harvey. Just to see the guy makes plays. 2024, he certainly did. Even in 23, when we had that insane like 5 game, 6 game winning streak, um, dude just is always around the ball. It seems like he's forgotten about, like he's known around the league, but quarterbacks just continue to test him. Once Vance Joseph finally sends Riley Moss some help, so kind of a gut feeling there. We didn't force too many turnovers, and I think McMillan was still tied with DeAndre Tillman. So it goes to show there, this one was kind of lucky by me.
Yeah, and then I also had Brandon Jones like JTB did. And you guys both talked about it. I mean, this team didn't force turnovers kind of like how we expected them to. Um, and yeah, like Joel just said, that is very evident because Dondre Tillman was tied for first, which is insane. Um, but yeah, I thought Brandon Jones would be more of a ball hawk. And then kind of most of our DBs this year kind of had drop issues. We saw Hufunga especially dropped. I could probably count like five or six looking back at the film that should have been interceptions, probably like two of those for pick sixes. But yeah, I just thought Brandon Jones would kind of replicate what we saw in 2024, where he's around the ball more. Um, so yeah, I guess we could just go straight into forced fumble leaders. And let's see.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, I had Jonathan Cooper. For me, that was kind of just like a guess here, I guess. I don't know. Didn't really work out that way. It turned out to be J Mac and Benito. And let's see, did Cooper? Yeah, he didn't even have a forced fumble this year, so very big miss from me. But yeah, Joel, what about you?
Yeah, this one, and I think my tackle pick. Oh no, sorry, just this one is where I put my chips into the Dre Greenlaw table. It's just something that I watched him do so much with the 49ers, but I don't think anyone expected, well, at least myself. I know some people were very skeptical about it, but I didn't expect him to miss as many games as he did. Was hoping he could be kind of that hard hitting linebacker that we haven't had in a while. But yeah, I guess got unlucky with the injury bug there. Can't wait to see what he does next year. We need to have that guy at full potential if we're gonna make a run.
Yeah, and for this one, I had Hufunga. Pretty much the same reasoning as Joel. I mean, he hits really hard when he tackles somebody, and um, I mean, forced fumbles are really a hard thing to predict in the first place. There's obviously kind of like that group of guys everybody picks from, but I mean, a lot of it also depends on the ball carrier and whether or not they decide to kind of help the defense out by holding the ball more loosely or whatever. But I mean, yeah, this one hard one to pick. J Mac really ended up breaking out way more than I even thought he could. I was kind of high on him coming into this year, but I mean, yeah, him and Benito with two, and then just kind of a little group of other guys with one. Hufunga was in there, Greenlaw was also in there. So I mean, uh, yeah, not uh, nothing really super surprising there or anything. I mean, like I said, forced fumbles are kind of hard to predict there. So I mean, yeah. So unless if you guys have any thoughts on McMillan, who kind of really broke out this year, I think we can move on to tackle leader.
Yep, let's move on.
All right, so yeah, this one, this one's definitely, I mean, not really that surprising of one. Just kind of funny because somebody we all interact with here on Twitter, Apollo, absolutely hates this man, Dre Greenlaw. So not Dre Greenlaw, Alex Singleton. Um, so I mean, yeah, Alex Singleton led us in tackles last year. He's a tackle machine. He does a really good job against tackles, obviously, but we've talked about it on previous pods. Pass coverage is lacking severely with him. I mean, he's just kind of slower to the ball than most people, but he does find his way there. Gets those tackles. So I mean, yeah, he racked up those tackles. Very cool story with Singleton and everything this year, but yeah, nothing much to say there.
Yeah, my pick here. I mean, I was close. We talked about off there with Hufanga. He's just always finding the ball, and he's really the enforcer that I thought Dre Greenlaw was going to be. My thought behind this one, because Singleton was the obvious pick, regardless of that, was that this guy was going to get either benched or hurt again from him suffering that season-ending injury last season. And I thought I was right when he got beat by Saquon Barkley in the Eagles game, and I was thinking that this prediction was going to pan out well because he wouldn't see the field again. But Dre Greenlaw couldn't stay healthy, and even when he was, Sternad was the one who was getting his snaps taken from him. So, I mean, Singleton was the obvious pick. At least I came close.
Yeah, and then I'm the same as JTB. I picked Joel's favorite player, Alex Singleton, solely because of what we saw the last few years. And yeah, I mean, he should have been benched. He's not. This has no indication of me saying that he's a good player. I just knew he'd be around the ball a lot. And I'm not going to look right now, but like I guarantee you, he's probably up there as far as missed tackles. So I just thought it was kind of an obvious pick for being a tackle leader. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, unless if you guys anything to talk about with Singleton there, Ben, you can get started with Defensive Rookie of the Year.
All right. So this one was kind of weird. I mean, no one really, in this draft class played a lot on defense. I mean, Barron came in every now and then. We saw him rotate with J-Mac quite a bit. Hugh Robinson, he saw like limited time. Savion Jones, same with him. So I think it's like I would give it to Barron just because he played a little more. Pretty sure he came away with an interception on Herbert, or it might have been Mahomes, one of the divisional quarterbacks. But I mean, I'd probably just give it to him. And I thought it would be this way, where he just got most of the action. So
Right, yeah. I think we took this one by default. I'd say we all got this one right. Nobody else really got significant snaps. I mean, Q Robinson kind of came alive late in the year, but we can give this one to Barron. He kind of helped us with our defensive strategy. I think they kind of unlocked something with him covering tight ends rather than him taking McMillan's spot, who he played amazing as well. So I think Barron, this one was kind of the easiest pick, and y'all got it right.
also correction, that pick was against Dak Prescott in that blowout. My bad.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys really nailed it. It was just the obvious pick. I mean, we drafted him in the first round when literally the whole entire world thought we were drafting running back or receiver. I mean, Normie, I guess, was the only one who thought it was a good pick at the time. Um, but I mean,
Great pick, even.
yeah, great pick. Um, but I mean, yeah, just kind of obvious pick there with Barron. I do, in my personal opinion, I do think he kind of did disappoint a little bit in the limited time he played. He was pretty good at covering tight ends, but I mean, uh, you expect a little bit more from a first round pick, even on a team that's trying to compete. Um, so I mean, yeah. What about you guys? What were your thoughts on Jade Barron there?
Yeah, I just wanted to see a little more from him. Um, I mean, he did well when we saw him like play against Kelsey and other tight ends around the league, but it's kind of hard to like grade him or whatever it may be when I mean he was always rotating from boundary corner to nickel. Like I don't know. I just want to see more from him next season.
Yeah, and like you said, JTB, McMillan's just huge breakout season. I think some may have seen it coming, but not too many. I think the Broncos front office and Vance Joseph probably didn't see it coming. I'm not sure how, but it's just, yeah, he was just too elite for Barron to see too many significant snaps to make an impact.
Yeah. So I mean, going from one unanimous pick for us to another defensive player of the year, kind of a easy pick here. Patrick Surtain, PS2. Not much to really say apart from the fact that he erases the other team's best uh, wide receiver. They just are a complete non-factor whenever they play the Denver Broncos. I mean, um, there's really just not much to say apart from Pat's just like the best corner in the league, and uh, in my opinion, will probably go down as a top three corner in the league if he keeps up on this pace. I mean, not much is stopping him. So, uh, yeah, not much to really say there for Pat Surtain winning Defensive Player of the Year for us.
Yeah, that play on Christian Watson, Jordan Love was the all you need to justify this one. He's truly incredible, someone that we're really lucky to have. And I agree with you. He has a chance to be amongst all those all-time greats.
Yeah. Also put Sertan here, and I think it's more kind of like Bo Nix, where if we lost Sertan, which we did for 3 games, I think that would hurt us more than I guess the only other contender for this would be Benito. Um, and there's a reason Riley Moss was the most targeted cornerback in the league. It's because Sertan's on the opposite side, and yeah, I think he's going to go down as one of the best of all time. So I think it's we all put him here because it was pretty obvious. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you guys said, just pretty obvious pick there. So these next ones will definitely kind of be interesting. We got our hot takes for the offense and defense. Yeah, so you can get started there, Ben.
Yeah, I was real excited for mine. I had, one of our backs would have 100 rushing yards within the first 3 weeks. That didn't happen. It was a week off, actually. J.K. Dobbins had 101 versus the Bengals in week 4. But I expected Sean Payton's offense with J.K. Dobbins just to immediately come out the gates and, play really well. And they did, but I expected to get one of those 100-yard rushing games. So I'm glad it happened, though. It's not a talking point where it's been 3 or 4 years anymore. So, yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so mine was that we would be one of the top fences in the league. Let's see. And I've missed that one a little bit, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you guys. I think we were around like 10 to 12-ish, I want to say. I read that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just about pretty much in every category. We were like uh
Yeah.
11th to
So
like 15th.
fell a little short. I think if Sean Payton would have opened the playbook, we may have had a run at it. But as we talked about in length on this pod, many times, we kind of played real vanilla a lot of the time. And I think that probably pushed us down a peg when we all know we could play as we did against Green Bay or like we did against Buffalo every week. We just kind of chose not to. So that's disappointing, but still good year from the offense. It's a hot take for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so next one, for me, 2,000 yards rushing between JK and RJ. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition. We talked about with RJ. Well, we were expecting a little bit more from him, like Ben said, kind of that 600 to 700 yard rushing range. And then for this one, honestly, I just really was kind of banking on JK staying healthy. And I mean, who knows if I mean, I hate to use the word if, but if JK does stay healthy, he gets to that 1,000 yard mark pretty easily. Probably gets a little bit over it, so could have become true. But I mean, it didn't happen. So I mean, uh, like Joel said, it's kind of a hot take for a reason there. Yeah, I already talked about RJ kind of disappointing this year, and then JK obviously getting hurt. So um, not much to really talk about there. This is kind of a weird question, but for you guys, what was kind of like a, I guess, hot take, something that you didn't see coming in the preseason for the offense that kind of ended up coming true? Was there anything like super weird that jumped out at you?
Well, I certainly didn't expect Lil Jordan Humphrey to come back. That's
Yeah,
gonna be my big one. And catching like some important touchdowns for us. That was
yeah,
kind of crazy. Something that came out. Someone to be reliable for Bo Nix.
Yeah, and then mine I had. I think I talked about it on here, but I thought Trent Sherfield would have a little bit bigger of a role in this offense, maybe like 250 to 300 yards or so. But yeah, he got cut, so not much else to say.
yeah. I mean, uh, kind of like Joel said, just the only kind of really shocking thing about this offense this year was, I guess, little Jordan Humphrey coming back. Maybe you could throw in like Michael Bandy not having any drops and leading the team in catch rate or something. I don't know, but um, I mean, yeah. So next up, we got hot take for defense, and uh, for this one, I was obviously really. It is a very hot take for me. Kind of like more of a delusional take, honestly. But I said this defense would be the best in Broncos history, and um, that just didn't come true. You could see kind of why I said that. They were really good in the run game. Um, Pass rush was obviously really good. It was almost historically good. Um, but I mean, still, we were missing some pretty big pieces to become the best defense in Broncos history. Didn't force turnovers. We have some we have some liabilities still on defense that past Broncos defenses just didn't have. So I mean, um, yeah, not really a hot take there at all. I mean, no, definitely a hot take there.
Right. And I remember asking you if that would yield the fourth Lombardi trophy, and I think it would have. We were so close not to be in the Chargers hypothetical realm, but Man, sucks what ended up happening there in Buffalo or against Buffalo. Mine was the run defense being better than the pass defense. I think there was a lot of hype about the secondary being barren as well. I kind of doubled down on the interior line with JFM. Zach Allen was more of our strength to this defense. I think this one's a little debatable. I think it depended on the game. But stat wise, I think we kind of nailed this one a little bit. A little bit. Kind of was a little more conservative with this one. Yeah, those are just some monsters that we have on the D line. And it really set us up for a lot of success, forcing teams to air that ball.
And then my hot take for the defense this year was I thought Cad would take over for Riley Moss. I think everybody at some point during this season kind of felt the same way about Riley getting benched, whether that be for Cad or Barron or I mean whoever. But yeah, that didn't happen, and I can promise everybody watching or listening to this that unless Riley gets traded in this offseason, this will be the exact same take for next season, either Cad or Barron. So
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree with you there, Ben. I think with Vance Joseph being back, I think his job is honestly probably perfectly safe with Vance being back. Obviously, I don't think that's anything we would do here in this pod. I think trading him this offseason could definitely be a good look, but I mean, um, probably not going to happen. Vance seems to really love him and Alex Singleton, so don't be surprised if we see them back. We'll talk about that in future episodes. But I mean, Ben, if you kind of wanted to talk a little bit about your record prediction here.
yeah, I remember exactly like whatever it was 5 months ago when I was saying I wanted to do 12-5, but I wanted to be a little conservative. Um, but it turns out I was 3 wins short. I didn't expect us to go on that like super long winning streak that we did. Um, I'm glad to be wrong. Like I'd rather sit here and say I was wrong about 11-6 because we were 14-3, rather than saying we were 6-10 or 6-11. So yeah, not much else I can say about that.
Yeah, I think we all kind of try to hide our bias a little bit. I think all of us wanted to say 18-0 or 17-0 on this one. But yeah, like Ben said, glad to be wrong on this one. Kind of shorted the guys 2 wins. With how many one-score games we had, I mean, all three of us could have easily been right, but just a special, special regular season.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, Joel, special regular season, 14-3, um, 2 games better than what me and you had there. So, uh, yeah, I mean, really, I don't think any of our record picks here were exactly a bad take. Second year QB roster still not the best ever around him, especially offensively. Um, Definitely didn't see him and the defense really taking the leap, especially Bo. I mean, he really carried this offense. Like I said, me and Joel really talked about that last pod, but yeah, record. It's a very hard thing to predict. So I mean, yeah, not much to really talk about there. So I mean, um, I just kind of was doing the totals as we were going through here, and I just didn't include ones where we all got it right. But we were kind of all tied with 3 correct predictions there. So I mean, um, yeah. Do you guys have any kind of last thoughts here on uh, this list here that we have of predictions?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this list 5 months later, I'm just like itching to get to next season so we can do the same exact list. I feel like I was so blinded with some of these as like the defense hot take, the receiving touchdown leaders. I don't know. Yeah, just looking at this makes me itch towards doing it again next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think we tried to be a little too different on some of these. I think the obvious answer was there. Just wanted to make it an enjoyable, less predictable pod, but we know ball. That's what that means. We know ball.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely really want to do this one again for this upcoming season. Maybe we could add in uh, some other stats to predict. If you guys have any thoughts, let me know in the comments on other stats we can do there. So I mean, yeah, unless if Ben or Joel, unless if you guys have anything more to kind of talk about, with the regular season kind of obviously ending here, Patriots losing the Super Bowl, kind of just like me and Joel said. Joel picked K9 for the Super Bowl MVP. He got that right. So shout out to him on that one. So yeah, unless you guys got anything more to talk about, I think we're about done here.
No, I think we covered all of it. It's good to be back on this pod. I missed last week. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I always appreciate being on here and talking ball with you guys. So,
True. Yeah, nothing else from me either. Like, subscribe, share, follow us all on the Twitter machine, and yeah, thanks, JTB.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Um, and yeah, hope you guys have a great week. Please like, subscribe, share. All the support's much appreciated. And go Broncos.